Well, good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. Today is April the 8th, and I'm excited to do the Just for Today meditation with you. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now. Thank you. Who we are not. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Please and thank you. Well, good morning to you. I have been up maybe, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, still sipping on a cup of coffee. It's not the best cup of coffee because it's not fresh. I took some coffee from my thermos and just wanted to heat it up so I can get right in here and get started. Usually I'm up long before I got up today, a little bit late. I got up around 6. And so just running behind a little bit, but my disposition is excellent. My spirit is excellent. I feel good. And I hope that you're feeling good. Today is April the 8th. If you recall, I started doing the Just for Today meditations. I think the first one that I did was March the 7th. So this has been a full month of regularly waking up and coming in to my office and doing the meditations. And I'm so excited. I really like the spirit of consistency. And so I become more happy when I'm consistent with whatever it is I put my mind to do. So let me go ahead and share the screen. One day I went to share the screen and I ended up stopping the recording and having to start all over. So let me be mindful, take my time here. Okay, April 8th. All right, let's get into this. Happiness. We come to know happiness, joy, and freedom. Basic text, page 91. I think you've heard us say sometime, happy, joyous, and free, right? And undoubtedly, it is in relationship to this text. We come to know happiness, joy, and freedom. If someone stopped you on the street today and asked you if you were happy, what would you say? Well, gee, let's see. I have a place to live, food in the refrigerator, a job, my car is running. Well, yes, I guess I'm happy, you might respond. These are outward examples of things that many of us have traditionally associated with happiness. We often forget, however, that happiness is a choice. No one can make us happy. Happiness is what we find in our involvement with Narcotics Anonymous. Happiness we derive from a life focused on service to the addict who still suffers is great indeed. When we place service to others ahead of our own desires, we find that we take the focus off ourselves. As a result, we will live a more contented, harmonious life. In being of service to others, we find our own needs more than fulfilled. Let me reread that. In being of service to others, we find our own needs more than fulfilled. That's an awkward sentence, but I understand what they're saying. Happiness, what is it really? We can think of happiness as contentment and satisfaction. Both of these states of mind seem to come to us when we least strive for them. As we live just for today, carrying the message to the addict who still suffers, we find contentment, happiness, and a deeply meaningful life. Just for today, I'm going to be happy. I will find my happiness by being of service to others. That's a beautiful meditation. And on the inside, I'm just sort of giggling because I stumbled through reading that. And I'm like, why am I stumbling? I know I've had some throat condition, a little congestion, a cough, so I know that that can interrupt my ability to breathe properly as I read. But I was like, what is it about this particular meditation? Because I believe in spiritual conditions, right? Or spiritual, uh, I want to say, I want to say melodies, but I just want to say, like, when I struggle with something in particular that is not normally a struggle for me, I don't necessarily look to my physical condition as the reason. I go to the spiritual being the reason. And I am able to see getting through this particular reading that because I hold service as a very high component to my personal happiness, there's a few things that I hold very high to my personal happiness. One is my prayer and meditation, my relationship with God, my higher power, my physical health, right? My ability to maintain my physical health through exercise is very spiritual for me. And then the third thing would be service to my family and to humanity. So these three things are very important to my personal happiness. And I didn't realize in the beginning, with the title being happiness, that it was going to lean into service as much as it did. So I see why I'm struggling, right? Because this is the very thing that I believe in. This is one of my core values. This is something that I always say to other people: get outside of yourself and just do something, right? You don't have to be noticed. Do something for others. If you are noticed and that's part of what you're doing, then hey, that's fine. But do something from a place from within that has a pure motive. And so I love this. I love this reading today. And I want you to be happy, joyous, and free. I want for you to find that one thing that you can do without being noted, that you can do in a form of service that is anonymous and brings you joy. Um, it's not that we don't believe in working on ourselves or serving ourselves or benefiting ourselves. It's not that. But the spirit of this particular reading today is about not looking towards the material things as your source of happiness, because those things cannot make you happy. People cannot make you happy, right? They can hurt you, or not having those material things can make your life more complicated, more difficult. But the bottom line is that happiness is something that we can choose. And every day I want you to wake up and choose to be happy. No matter if you're going to court, no matter if you're, struggling with some physical ailment, um, a loss of a loved one, no matter what it is, I want for you to make it up in your mind that you're going to be on the positive side of the spectrum rather than the negative, that you're going to be light instead of being dark, that you're going to have peace instead of being in confusion, that you are going to have joy and happiness instead of being melancholy and pitiful, sad, right? Not pitiful in the sense of a shame type pitiful, but with pity, that you're not going to be sad, okay? So these are the things that I want you to work on today. even as you go through your own storms. And I have quite a few associates, friends that are going through very difficult times. I want to say about 4 individuals that I know of have lost their mother. A couple of those have also already lost their fathers. Obviously, I won't say obviously, but women do tend to live longer than men. So by the time we're usually losing our mothers in this country, by the time we're losing our mothers, our fathers have already passed, generally speaking. So there's a few of my friends that have now lost both parents. And the complexity is that they've spent years caring for them, and now there's this season of not having to care for them. So there's this time gap in their days and in their lives, right? And so they need to fill that up with something. And I just want to say, fill it with service. Fill it with service. When a person commits to doing service, if it is something that is ongoing, when a person commits to doing service, you always have something to look forward to. You always have others looking forward to you filling that responsibility. And you have, and I'm talking about trusted servant positions, in the fellowship. So when you have a commitment like that, even when things are gloomy, you have a tendency to say to yourself, or at least I do, you know what, you're going to have to hold on, because Monday night is coming and you have a whole NA meeting that you chair, right? On the international platform for the Zoom meeting that runs 24/7, I tell myself, you're going to hold on. You're going to be exhausted when you do it, but you're going to hold on, because if you don't fill your slot, somebody else has to, and you're not going to inconvenience someone else just because you're depressed today, right? So I play these mind games with myself, right? I try to reboot. I try to get into service in such a way where I know I'm going to maintain it. And so I commit to certain things so that when I'm trying to push through depression or I'm pushing through a difficult season, I have a guiding post, right? For me, that guiding post is Monday. Monday is a huge day for Hope Through Navigation, H.O.O.D Recovery Services. It is a huge day. And that means that I have to get to Monday. Even if I'm down on Friday, I have to get to Monday, which I would like to say I have a small surgery coming up this Monday. So that's going to change things a little bit for me this Monday. But I'm still encouraged. I'm still in the back of my head thinking, oh, by 6 o'clock at night, you should be okay. The surgery is going to be finished by 1 o'clock or so. You should be okay. And I give myself permission to wait till Monday to see how I'm feeling. I just feel that love and happiness and joy, these are things that are gifts. And I have to steward them, no one else. I don't have to be worried about your happiness. I have to be worried about mine. And I want you to feel challenged today to do something for someone else and take a note in your mind and your heart, right? Do a head check, do a heart check, and see how you feel before, during, and after that service, right? So my name is MightyStream. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation. This is our H.O.O.D Recovery Services. And I'm excited about my day. I'm excited about your day. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Make it a great day. It's yours for the taking.